Certainly an historic win for the Biden-Harris ticket. Joining us now to discuss the upcoming administration is Quick Take's Madison Mills. Madison, what reactions are you seeing from people celebrating this win on both sides of the aisle?
Thank you so much, Renita. Like we saw a little bit earlier in the show, there were so many celebrations throughout New York City. I can barely begin to describe it to you. I was in bed, of course, on Saturday morning when this news broke and immediately heard people running out of their houses with pots and pans. Cars were honking. And I thought this will happen for a half hour or so. No, it was a full 24 hours of celebration all across the city. I was on a stoop later in the day and I saw a father-daughter walk by. The daughter was on his shoulders and she said, "I could change the world someday." Wow. And that just gives me chills every time I talk about it. But it's such a message of hope that people are feeling who are on the left in this country that they just haven't felt in a really long time. But it's also important to talk about the 70 million people who did vote for Trump. Trump has not conceded the election yet. We just heard White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany saying that the election was fraudulent. We're also hearing Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell back up that claim, but there is no evidence to support election fraud.
Now, President-elect Joe Biden met with his COVID-19 Advisory Council today. What do we know now about his plans to address the pandemic?
Right, Renita, like you mentioned, Biden met with his 13-person coronavirus advisory council virtually today. And there are three main things I want to point out from this meeting. One, Biden talked a lot about the importance of mask wearing. He has suggested the idea of a federal mask mandate previously, which would be a huge change from what we've seen from the Trump administration. President Trump was, of course, hesitant to wear a mask for a long time. And then he's also questioned publicly the efficacy of mask wearing. So that would be a big change from the federal government to see a push towards more universal mask wearing. We're also hearing Biden talk about a $25 billion fund specifically for vaccines. $25 billion. That is a huge amount of money. And he's focused on that because he wants to make sure that once we do have a reliable vaccine, he doesn't want anyone in this country to not get it just because they can't afford it. So this is a huge priority for him. And lastly, he's focused on bringing our country back to facts and science. And again, that's why he was so selective with this 13-person council.
So quickly, we're almost out of time, but we're also still waiting on a stimulus package from the federal government that'll help to avoid a double dip recession. How will Joe Biden attack both the stimulus package and the broken economy that he's inheriting?
The short answer, Renita, is that we need to know how the Senate is going to shake out before we get info on that. Biden is going to push for as much money as he can, but if he has a red Senate, that's going to be really hard to do.
That was Quick Takes Madison Mills. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate that, and we'll stay updated.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.